Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Today is Money Monday, and as of right now, we have 70 participants on the line. Make sure that you reach out to your team. We don't want any ICMs left behind. We want to reach and exceed 100 attendees on each and every one of these trainings. And also any new members you bring on, make sure that part of the onboarding process, you make sure to set them up with the reminder information, or so that they have the reminder text for each of these calls in the morning. All right, so today we get to learn from Michael Huggins. Michael Huggins is a dear friend of mine, and I've known him and Vanessa for quite some time, and it's been really incredible to watch the transformation from the Jiffy Lube Michael, and even previous to Jiffy Lube Michael, to the Michael that we know today. He has drastically transformed his life and Vanessa's life, the two of them together as a team, and it's just really incredible to see what they've done. And I'm just so proud of them, and I'm so grateful that they thought enough of me to bring me onto Renatus. So Michael and Vanessa are both just very smart and fun and creative. And back before Renatus, Michael was actually very frustrated, and they were both broke. They were both living in Vanessa's mother's basement. And Michael was working for Jiffy Lube and Sears, and he had gone to school to get an auto mechanics degree, worked very hard to get that degree, and only to just have a ton of student loan debt that wasn't going anywhere. After paying so many years on the loan, he noticed that the balance hadn't even changed, and everything that he had been paying was just going to interest. And that was very frustrating after how hard he'd been working to pay that loan down. He couldn't afford a car at the time. He was actually riding his brother's bicycle to work and hiding it in the bushes because he was embarrassed about it. So fast forward to today, since Michael found Renatus, and he's been building this business for about 10 years now, he has earned multiple seven figures in this business. And it's just incredible what you can do when you change your mindset and you focus on the system that we have here with Renatus. He's on the PAC. He's a President's Advisory Council member with our CEO. And he is traveling between Salt Lake City, Colorado, and Tennessee, just doing all kinds of incredible things for us. So anyway, I'm excited to hear what he has to share with us. We're very fortunate to hear from Michael today. Good morning, Michael.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Money Monday. Another beautiful day in paradise. Let's get to work. So we have about 53 days before Nationals. And this is an exciting time. There's a lot to gain from going to Nationals. And I know that people who, that's why we're here, right? You came to Renatus because you wanted to gain something, and we're headed in the right direction with that. And things like nationals and things like regionals are other people's ways of attempting to get you faster to where you want to go. Organize a bunch of people and ideas and networks and connections and resources and paradigm shifts, and all this stuff is put together for you guys. And if you don't take advantage of it, how's it going to help you? So let's definitely take this seriously, take it up a notch of seriousness, and let's run our businesses like it's the only thing we're doing, not like it's a part-time thing we're doing, and our job is the most important. Unless you really want to keep your job. I want to keep my business, so I worked my butt off, and now I don't have a job. So grateful. So grateful. But, one of the things is my mentors told me, go to Nationals. I was like, well, I don't have any money. And they're like, great, go to Nationals anyway. And I was like, but I don't know how to take the time off work. And they're like, that's a cool story, bro. But still, go to Nationals. And I had to figure it out. How was I get the time off and the money in order to make it happen? And I'm so glad I did, because that showed me resolve, that showed me how to follow through, that showed me that I could get what I put my mind to. So let's do that. Switch over to the iPad here. and wanted to, constantly thinking. I'm constantly thinking, how are we going to get more people to the next level in their life and in their business? What are some things we could do? And just constantly thinking about when I get to talk to you guys on Monday, what's going on. Oh, we just hit 100 people. Awesome. But I'm thinking, like, what are some other ways to empower and equip? Like, what's something that I learned that helped me that I can share with all of you? So hopefully this makes sense for you. There we go. Okay. Boom. Here we go. So the question is, what's something that I learned that I can share with you guys to have the results and start gaining the experience that I'm gaining? So having the effect from this business, how do you get the same effect that I'm getting? How do I get 100 more people to make $1 million? It's that's what keeps me up at night. How am I going to get another 100 people to make $1 million with me? We each made $1 million. Think about where our company would be. Right, there's 100 of us. $1 million each would be sitting at a 9-figure, just us on the line. That's not even the whole company, right? So this $1 million each sounds like a good idea. So in order to make this million, people who have done it before, they have ideas, steps, processes for you to take. They're giving you specific work to do. All this in an attempt to help you make more money and have more free time and ultimately control your destiny. So here are the ideas, the steps, the process, the work in order to do that. And the interesting thing is people will say stuff like, well, after here's what it is. It's a jacuzzi versus a pivotal. Most people, because of how they think about themselves, they only have a jacuzzi experience. That's great for the night, but then in the morning, you're not in the jacuzzi anymore. Right? And the next day, you're not in the jacuzzi anymore. So things like Super Saturday and house tours and regionals and especially nationals, leaders retreat, all these things, even a founders webinar, coaching call. All of these have the possibility of either being a jacuzzi moment, a jacuzzi experience, or a pivotal experience for you. And what I mean when I say jacuzzi experience is it doesn't last. That's what I mean. Right? There's the experience, but it doesn't last. But this pivotal experience is a permanent experience, something that's changed. So how frustrating is it to sit in a workshop? You go to Super Saturday and you hear these people share their story, their idea, their concept, their process. You go, wow, I feel so great. Thinking about this makes me feel awesome. I'm going to go and do it. This is cool. And then in the morning, you don't do it. And then you tell yourself, dang it, you know what? On the next one, on the next one, on the next one. The next workshop, I'm really going to do what they say that time. And so what happens is you're basically saying, hey, I want a pivotal experience, but I keep getting this jacuzzi experience. And people say things like, well, I was making progress, I was taking the steps, but I went back to my old ways. Whatever your old ways are, you didn't make the phone call, you didn't show up, you didn't send the email, you didn't watch the class. Something about, but I was doing it, but I went back to my old ways. And so all you do is you have this jacuzzi experience and you put some effort in it, but then you go back to your old ways and you're stuck over here. And I'm going to propose an idea that it might be because how you talk about yourself about it. You think that you're going back to your old ways, right? And the old ways would be things like you're being, I mean, ultimately you're being scared of what other people think, or you're procrastinating, or you react a certain way when you hear people talk, right? You just go back to your old ways. Like there's a way you want to be, and you work for it for a little bit, but then you end up going back to the old way. Whatever that is. It could be so many things. So I'm going to propose that maybe it's not that you're going back to the old ways that's the problem. I think that you calling it the old ways is the problem. That you think that your original nature is scared and procrastinating. You react instead of respond, and you do these self-sabotage things that you don't want to do. And so you do your best to stop it. So you go to another workshop and you go to another training call and you watch another class and you go, ooh, this is a great class. I'm going to go do something different. I'm going to go make offers on property. And then when it comes time to do it, you don't. You get scared and procrastinate and you react and you don't make the phone call and you don't make the offer and you don't talk to that stranger and you don't offer that next thing that you said you wanted to do because you think that that's your old way of doing things. So going to nationals, which is the next big thing that we're talking about here, some people will have a pivotal experience. Some people will never be the same again after something like nationals. And if you're never the same again, that could be things like we're getting rid of being scared and procrastinating and reacting. Never be the same again, but that's not your old ways. If you think about it beforehand, think about this. When you were 5 years old, when you were a child, when you were a kid, scared was not a thing for you, right? Except if it was loud noises or falling, fear was not a thing for you. So you were confident. You asked for what you wanted for. You spoke your mind. You didn't have any ulterior motives. You weren't trying to prove anything to anyone. Right? You just spoke your mind. You were in the moment. which meant you weren't procrastinating, right? You weren't thinking about the future and trying to talk yourself into doing things. You were just in the moment, confident, speaking your mind. So how would that be to be able to do that now? Be confident, speak your mind, be in the moment, and not do the self-sabotage, not go back to the old ways, quote unquote old ways. Technically, what I'm trying to tell you is that these are the old ways. This was your old way of being. And so, with that being said, as you show up to different workshops and events and phone calls and trainings, and you're looking for a change, one of the requirements for making a change is that you have to be confident, you have to be able to speak your mind, and you have to live in the moment. You gotta be present, or else change won't happen. It'll just be an idea that's entertaining to you, but it won't actually manifest. So we all had a pivotal experience at Nationals this year. Do you realize where our company would be, where you would be as a whole, if you brought in $500,000 to $1 million this year because you went back to being confident, speaking your mind, and living in the moment? Do you realize how attractive you would be? You only need to enroll 100 people to make $1 million. You only need to enroll 100 people to make $1 million. 100 enrollments equals $1 million. So when we're thinking 100 people, well, geez Louise, there's 100 people in my old work office. There's 100 people in my PTA meeting. There's 100 people. It's so easy to find 100 people. So finding the people is not the difficult part. The difficult part is that you think you need outside stimulants or circumstances like calls and trainings and workshops and events to change. Well, we want to produce change there for sure. But if you're only going for that experience, you won't have a pivotal change. If you had built back your confidence, right? Because jobs and K through 12 and silly societal structures that America has built often take people's confidence away, and they experience something terrible when they speak their mind and they're not in the moment because they're thinking about their retirement account and their future and how it's going to suck if they don't do something, and they're thinking about their past and they shoulda, coulda, woulda, and we're never in it. We're never in the moment. And so if you're not in the moment, you're not paying attention. If you're not paying attention, how are you going to enroll 100 people? That's it. 100 people. Bob will give you $1 million. Pay off your debt. Pay off your house. Buy a couple income producing assets, and you can retire this year using $1 million. So I'm really excited for you to experience what it's like to make 100 enrollments and have this be the way. Like if you were 5 years old and you had a good idea about playing, you just went up to someone, you're like, hey, let's play. And you didn't care how they reacted. You didn't care about how silly your suggestion was. If it was fun and it sounded great, you just made it and you went for it. But the good news is what we're saying here, let's play, let's do real estate, let's build our business, let's take control of our minds, let's take control of our health, let's take control of our relationships. That's all here in Renatus. What a proposal. So it starts with one, right? It starts with you making your first phone call, reaching out to that first person, and genuinely caring about their results. Because you know what? you know what it's like to have this jacuzzi experience and nothing changes, even though you really, really wanted to change. Since you know what that is like, you have rapport with almost anyone that you come in contact with. They've all had this jacuzzi experience where they wanted to change, but it didn't last. So now you can relate to them. So then when you share something like, I found a way to pay my bills and make a fortune. I found a way to pay my bills and make a fortune. That's what I'm sharing with people. And if you start really genuinely caring about their result, this is what Zig Ziglar told us, is if you help enough people get what they want, you can have everything you want. Well, if I help, if I help 100 of you make $1,000,000, then I can have the next thing that I want. But in order for you to make $1,000,000, you have to actually care about the people you're talking to and getting them what they want. So I guess in a way, what I'm talking about is being so authentic and real that people can't ignore you. And if they can't ignore you, then they're going to hear you talk about Renatus. And if they hear you talk about Renatus and they're paying attention, they're going to buy. Because when people pay attention to what we're saying and they're not stuck in their silly stories, when they pay attention to what we're saying, Renatus is incredible. With the price and the value and the training and what's offered and what they can get, what you can produce, it's an incredible offer. So why are people saying no? Ultimately, when you go out in the world and you're trying to talk to people and you have a good idea, not just Renatus, but you have a good idea, you're going to share it, but then they say no. My question is, why do people say no to good ideas? Well, in my experience, what it comes down to is, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm coachable, but why do people say no to good ideas? Is because they don't think the work is worth it. They don't think the work is worth it. Well, how do we help people understand that it's worth it? We have to use stories. We have to use illustrations. We have to use testimonials. How are people going to know it's worth it? You know what else? Is people are going to know it's worth it when you display that you've pivoted from your old, from a certain way. I'm not going to call it your old way, because your old way we already established is confident, you speak your mind, and you're in the moment. But you pivoted from where you were before we met you. You pivoted. That's why it's easier for people to listen to me now, because I got away from procrastination and worry and being scared and thinking about the past too much, thinking about the future too much, instead of being in the moment. It's so unattractive. Nobody likes it. So if you're present with them, they can hear your idea. My idea is, let's take back control of our lives. Let's make some money. Let's have fun. Let's make more money in half the time. This is the good idea. So instead of, here's what instead of setting up this goal, you're saying, all right, my goal is to make $1 million. And I want to do it in the next 12 months. So you've made this goal, you think about it, and then 1 month goes by and you're not much closer. And 2 months go by and you're not much closer. And 3 months go by and you're like, you know what? This is scary. I don't think I'm going to get my goal. So you go, okay, never mind. I want 750,000. And then 4 months go by, and 5 months go by, and 6 months go by, and nothing's working. And you go, you know what? I'd be happy with 200,000. And then 7 months go by, and 8 months go by, and 9 months go by, and you're not even close to that. And you go, man, if I could hit 6 figures by the end of the year, that would just be awesome. And then 10 months go by, 11 months go by, and you go, man, if I could just get one sale, make a $10,000 check, I could make people shut up. But you kept dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping as time went on. Does that sound familiar? And so we got this idea in our head that the goal was the way. But what if, instead of putting our mind on a goal, what if we put our mind on a process? And if we stick to a process, the process will lead to financial gain. And then it's up to you how much you want to gain, 1 million, 10 million, I don't care. The point is it'll lead to a financial gain. So what is the process then? The process is see people, tell the story, build for events, follow up continuously. Continuous follow-up. And if you got obsessed with this process, instead of getting obsessed with the goal, then technically there wouldn't be a way for you to keep cutting your goal and cutting and cutting and cutting and cutting, because the process is the process regardless of the outcome. You just see the people, you tell a story, you build for events, and you follow up. And this process leads to the financial gain you're looking for, as well as friends and influence and awareness and more ideas and clarity. There's so many other things it brings, not just money. But I mean, the money's pretty cool too. It's definitely helpful to do the interesting things that I want to do in life. So get committed to the process. Right? This is a pivotal moment that you can have, is that the process is the thing to get obsessed with, not the goal, the process. So if we were obsessed with this process, and what would it look like, let's say on this events thing, for someone who's obsessed with the process, what would it look like if you were to observe someone that was obsessed with this process? What would it look like on the topic of build for events? What I'm trying to get at is you would be at nationals. Right. Another way of saying it is you would be at every event. As many events as possible that make sense for you in your area and your business and your time. You'd be at every event possible. But in a way, I look at some of your behavior and you're obsessed with your job and you're there every day at every event and you're there no matter what. And this obsession with your job is at the expense of something else. Sure, have a job. Don't be obsessed with it. Be obsessed with this process over here. If someone was obsessed with the process, what would it look like on See the People? Wouldn't it be easy to start out with friends and family? That's what I did. Started calling my friends, started calling my family, and saying, hey, I found a way not only to pay my bills, but I found a way to make a fortune. So I've already decided I don't need to go have these giant lead lists and campaigns and try to enroll strangers in some automated process where I don't have to lift a finger, whatever. That's not, it doesn't have good, necessarily good energy on it. And I mean, go for it. But at the same time, like, why not get the low hanging fruit while you're building some fancy webinar system that will make you millions automatically? How about you just call a few friends and family and you genuinely share a story? Genuine, you're authentic, you're real. It could be your story, it could be your 5-star story, it could be the CEO's story, it uh, could be someone in your office story. I don't care, but tell a story. And you build for an event. Now, people always ask me, well, Michael, what event do I build for? And I tell them, the next one. If it's a house tour, if it's a Pillars of Wealth event, if it's cash flow, it doesn't matter. Nationals, I mean, here we are in Denver, and we're enrolling guests with Nationals tickets. They come to the follow-up, say, hey, if you're not sure about this Renatus thing, why don't you come to our Nationals? You can sign up right now for it and grab yourself a ticket. And people are saying, okay, they're signing up for Nationals. So if we're building for events and we're sharing our story, then the last step is just follow up. What'd you like best? Ready to buy? You don't have the money? Let's find the money. Let's find the money. Ready to buy. Let's do this. And every day you commit to a process. Now, what that looks like, this process that you're committed to, for me anyway, is it doesn't matter what day on the calendar it is. Right? On my birthday, guess what I was doing? I was seeing the people tell a story, I was building for events, and I was following up. Okay, on my anniversary, on New Year's, guess what I was doing? I was seeing the people telling the story, building for events, and following up. Because that's what someone who's committed to a process does. It doesn't matter what the day is. Every day, my birthday, your birthday, everyone's birthday. Right? That also means, for some of you, I know it's going to blow your mind, Sunday. Right? Guess what? Yesterday, I did a follow-up for someone. I got on a webinar, did a screen share. It was cold outside and there's a crazy amount of snow, so none of us wanted to go out and eat. So we just did it over a screen share. But guess what? On Sunday, we saw the people, and then we told the story, and then we built for an event, and we followed up. She said, I'm in. We put her order in. If you're committed to a process and someone says, hey, can I talk to you on Sunday? You're going to say, of course. Yeah, you don't have to do it every Sunday for your entire life. I get that. But here you are in Renatus. Why don't you do it every Sunday for the next 10 years? And then for the following rest of your life, you could do whatever you want. If you get committed to this process for 10 years, why not make $2, $3, $4, $5 million in the next 10 years? And because I'm committed to that process and I did it on a Sunday, I had on that webinar, I included 2 ICMs and a guest. So now I have 3 people that see my level of commitment. So those 3 people each go get 2 sales. I just got 6 more people on my team. So you're wondering why you've been around for so long, or you've taken the training, you've done the steps, and it hasn't worked, is because you don't. I'm not saying you have to work on Sundays. I'm just saying you have to be willing to if it shows up. If it shows up, you don't say no. I'm willing to work every Sunday. Good news is I don't have to work every Sunday because not everyone wants to do a follow-up on Sunday. That's fine. But my willingness is there, and because that willingness is displayed, it's more attractive. It's more attractive, more people sign up. More people sign up, I make money. So just my willingness to help someone get started on a Sunday means I make more money. And the only reason I keep saying more money, to be clear, is because money can be measured. That's why. Money can be measured. But really, like, money is not the most important thing. Relationships are awesome. Right? We don't sacrifice relationships for money. Health, confidence, our sophistication is improving. But these things are difficult to measure. But money is a byproduct of you honoring relationships, your health, your confidence, and growing in sophistication. So if money is a byproduct of all these things, then we can go and measure the money in a way to see how some other things are doing. Right? These things are hard to measure. So that's why I just say money. It goes back to you can say you're doing all the things right, and you can prove it with measuring. And the only thing we can really measure as a result is money. Right? You can see relationships improving over time. Definitely. Health is improving over time, confidence over time. We just see an improvement. But with money, we can say it was this much, now it's this much, now it's this much. And that's mostly why I'm referring to money, is it's easily measured. But I know it's not the most important thing. Right? If I went back and I said get committed to this process, it's the same thing. It's not, you're not getting committed to money, you're getting committed to the process of improving. So 100 people. There's no problem, issue, challenge that cannot be taken care of. Well, maybe there's a few. There are very few issues or problems or challenges that you have that can't be solved with another 10 or 20 combos. So I want you to get obsessed. I want you to be at nationals. Right? The reasons for going to nationals are way more important than the reasons not to go. Or else why even get started? You know what I mean? Like, you're just fooling yourself. And then if you keep fooling yourself, then you're not going to build up any confidence or relationships. Then you're not going to be attractive. You can keep fooling yourself. And if you're not attractive, you don't make sales because no one wants to be on your team. No one wants to listen to you. No one wants to buy from you because you're being so unattractive. It's a vicious cycle. I get it. It's rough, but only for a little bit. You do it long enough, it'll all smooth out. So get to nationals. It's $357. Then you go get a short-term rental, Airbnb, pitch in with a couple people, and you might spend $50 a night. Get yourself some food. You might spend $20 a day on food. Right, you gotta be strategic. Just go to the grocery store, get yourself some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Spend $20 on your whole trip. You can survive for 3 days on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Not a big deal. Plus, we're also going to feed you at nationals, right? So it really won't cost that much. You can get this whole thing done for $600. $600 in 3 days. Now, I know some of you, driving is not an option. So then it's going to be a little more than $600. I get it. If you don't have the money, you go and borrow it. And it doesn't matter if you're going to borrow it if you really need to pay people back. Then it doesn't matter how much you borrow or when you borrow it, if you truly intend to pay people back and you follow through on the steps to pay people back, borrowing money is a great thing. Creates a win-win for the lender and the borrower. We both get something we didn't have before. So if you don't have the money, maybe a flight might be an extra $300, maybe 400. So maybe you're spending $1,000. $1,000 to in every one of us. Here's something exciting about being in America. We are all one relationship away from our next level of prosperity. That's the exciting thing about being in America this time, in this age, in this situation. This is awesome. We're one relationship away from our next level of prosperity. So whatever you got to go through, you got to hitchhike, you got to ride the train, you got to take a Greyhound bus, you got to, I don't care what you're doing, you got to get there. It'll turn into such an incredible story 2-3 years from now when you start talking to people and they're talking about, oh man, life is hard. I wish I had the money to join, but I don't know. And you go, dude, the money's out there. You just got to go ask your friends or your neighbors or your relatives, or you got to go raise it. You got to, it's out there. And you go, oh, I wish it was. You can show them how to follow through and share a story about how you followed through and how it was tough for you to do it, but you found the money and you did it anyway and you made it work and now you're happy you did. Don't you need your customers to do that? Right? You show them a good thing, they go, oh wow, man, I wish I had the money. And then we show you a good thing and you go, oh man, I wish I had the money. And then you wonder why your customers reflect that same message back to you. Because you keep putting up this excuse, well, I wish I had the time, wish I had the money, but I'm not going to do it. Sounds like a good idea, but I wish. And you just say what your customers say back to you. So change the story, right? Your old ways are confident. In the moment, you speak your mind. It's so attractive that people will get out of their own way to be around you more. And then you just make it a caveat, to be around me, you have to be a Renatus member. And they buy from you, and then you get them to work. You show them a new way. You show them how to raise themselves out of the financial, emotional, mental, physical mess that they're in. This Renatus thing is incredible. So get to nationals, get your team to nationals, make the sacrifice. We all know it's hard. You don't need to go around saying, man, I wish. Just go and do the hard thing. Being broke is hard. Having a job is hard. Getting to nationals might be hard. Spending money might be hard. Closing sales might be hard. It's all hard. Pick your heart. Yeah, Megan brings up a good point. You make one essential sale, it pays for your whole nationals trip.
Brother Michael.
Yeah.
Hey, great training. Can I make a request for next week?
Let's hear it, Stephen.
Okay. So last week you said you make a habit out of selling extreme combos.
That's right.
It's a wonderful habit. Wonderful habit. I'd like to find out through your words, your posture, your actions, and your attitude, how you elevate people to make that decision as well. Because it's a decision that can come with a lot of fear and anxiety and all this and that. So really curious how you guys are able to do that, guest after guest.
Cool. will break that down and go into that, and hopefully we all have a pivotal moment from that. So for sure, Stephen, happy to go over that. Do you have your Nationals ticket?
No.
Oh, how does that feel to say that?
Not great. I should have gone my first year, but I don't have it this year either.
So what are you going to sell in your house to free up a couple $100 in cash so that you can make it?
Well, I've actually got some even more valuable education services I can sell to get there quicker.
Oh, that's the attitude. That's what I'm talking about. But go buy your ticket now. Go buy your ticket now, and then reimburse yourself with selling the education. Right? If you're a good
Sounds
borrower,
like a plan.
you'll pay yourself back. Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm really excited. I'm really grateful that I get to work with people like you guys across the nation. I'm grateful for Keely. I'm grateful for the team. I'm grateful for Bob Snyder. I'm grateful for Richard Stock and Scott Rowe and Nancy Rowe and Hugh Zareski. I'm grateful for all the new people that got started last week. I'm grateful for the new people I get to meet this week. We're on an incredible journey together. The key is that we need to change the story about what our old ways are. So if our ways are compassionate, our traditional ways of being are compassionate and caring, and we want to see people thrive just like we want to thrive. So get back to that. Call someone today, share with them how you're going to be thriving more and more as the years go on, and invite them to take a look. It's up to you. It's in your hands. Okay. You guys have been awesome. Thanks for the interaction today. I got to hop on a new call here in just a minute. So we're going to wrap this up. Man, it's so exciting. So please, not for my sake, but for your own sake, stick with your commitments. Why did you join? Think back to that day when you signed up. Why did you do it? And do it even harder. Follow through all the way. Call more people, make more offers on houses, watch more classes, organize yourself, straighten up, say what you mean and mean what you say. It'll all start falling into place. People want to be around you more. Okay, let's go prosper. Money Monday. Get out there. Go make 10 phone calls today. It'll be worth it. We'll see you guys later. Bye.